Hi,
Good morning.
my name is Luann Lonergan, and I'm here. I'm going to do a set of vital signs on you today.
Okay.
Alrighty, can you tell me, can I see your armband, by the way? Wonderful. And can you tell me your name?
Joan Smith,
Alright, and what's your birth date, Joan Smith?
September 3rd, 1942.
Wonderful. Alrighty, well, we're going to just do a blood pressure measurement. If you want to put your right arm here first. And I'm going to just wipe off, actually, the bell and the diaphragm part of my stethoscope and the earpieces. How do you feel this morning?
Good.
Alrighty, good. Have you had any trouble with blood pressure concerns at all?
No, I think it's been pretty good.
Alrighty. So one of the first things I like to do is to make sure we've got a good size. So I'm going to just put this up here, and I like to go around the arm circumference with the width of the blood pressure cuff, and it should be 1/3 to 1/2 around there, but sometimes that's hard to estimate. So what I would do, if this one has a measuring, it has an index line and a range line, that's perfect. So when I put this on, I'm going to go above the brachial artery, and I am going to, that should fall right in the range here. Do you see how that's falling in? Then I know that that's a good size fit. Alrighty, and I'm going to just check. I'm going to bend up or flex up her arm and then have her extend, and I feel for the biceps tendon, and I go medial, and I should feel that brachial artery should be coming right out there. And there it is, real good. So I should be about 1 inch above the anterior or the antecubital space here, and the artery should be right over the artery line. So we look real good. If I did not have a measurement line, I would need to take a tape measure and measure her arm circumference. But because this cuff, and most cuffs are set like that, then I should be fine. Since this is the first time I have done Mrs. Smith's blood pressure, I'm going to get an estimation by palpating her systolic measurement. So what I'm going to do is find her radial pulse. There, I get it very good, and I'm going to hold then the bulb in my dominant hand, and I'm going to turn it all the way clockwise to the right, and I'm going to pump it up until I don't feel her radial pulse anymore. So I feel it, I feel it, I still feel it. It went away at about 130. So I'm going to pull that, I'm going to put that all the way down, and now I'm going to need to let her rest for a while. So I'm going to do some of her other vital signs. So I just palpated, and I could palpate the radial pulse, and it went away about 130. So when I do take her blood pressure, I'm going to go up 30 millimeters of mercury, so I'm going to pump it up to 160. But for right now, I'm going to do some of those other vital signs right now. So I'm going to put on the pulse ox. And Anne, have you drank any coffee or smoked in the last half hour?
No.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad you don't smoke.
No, I don't.
All right, good. So I'm going to turn this on. There we go. And I'm going to have you put that in. We're going to just let that sit for a while. Okay. Now what I'm going to do while I'm just letting that sit, I'm going to just check her pulse. And I'm going to count that pulse for 30 seconds. And then when I'm done with that, I'm going to count her respirations for a minute, but without telling her. Wonderful, very good. I counted this for 30 seconds. I got 37, and I multiplied that by 2. So I got 74 was her radial pulse. Then for a minute, I watched her respiration. She did not know I was doing that. And I counted 17, and that was in a full minute I did that. If it was hard for me to assess her respiratory rate, I could put my hand right on her chest to feel it, or I could actually put it on her belly, on her abdomen. But Anne's were real easy, and they were very regular. So she's doing good, and her pulse oximeter reading is great, 99, and so that was on for a full minute. So we should be real set to go. The only other vital sign I need to do is her temperature, and I'm going to do that a couple of different ways. So the first way, I'm going to do it orally. And again, Anne, are you chewing any gum or have you smoked recently?
I haven't had anything to drink.
Okay, I'm going to put that on her sublingual pocket. Have her close her mouth. Wonderful, that looks great. Very normal. So that is that one. Then I'm going to go into her tympanic using the tympanic temperature. And I'm going to use her ear, and I'm going to pull her pinny up and back and get a nice seal, and I'm going to point that towards her nose. Excellent. That's real good. Okey-dokers. Then I'm going to release that. And then I'm going to use one more, and this would be the temporal artery thermometer. And I'm going to just wipe that off with alcohol. And I'm going to go across her forehead by her hairline and then touch behind her ear. And this one, so I'm going to hold down. Beautiful. That looks wonderful. All right, so everything looks real good, Anne. So I'm going to check then your blood pressure now. That should be enough time. So again, I'm going to just reiterate. I've extended her arm. I found where her biceps tendon was, and now I go a bit medial, and I've got her brachial artery is beautiful right there. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I've got a diaphragm or a bell, and we can use either side of the stethoscope. Most people use the diaphragm, and if it's hard for you to hear, you can try the bell, but I'll use the diaphragm today. I'm going to point these earpieces towards my nose, get a nice seal here. Alrighty, and I'm going to have you just extend up. Your feet are flat, Anne. And again, I'm going to hold the bulb in my dominant hand, turning that clockwise, and I'm going to go up quickly to 160. Alrighty, I'll let you set that down. The first sound I heard was 132, and then when the sound disappeared, it was disappeared at 72. So 132 over 72. How was that for you for blood pressure reading?
I think that's pretty normal.
Okay, and we'll probably want to check that another time just to make sure, you know, so within a month I'll have you go to your healthcare provider and have that checked out.
Okay.
Alrighty, and I can take off that blood pressure cuff then. Do you have any other questions?
No.
Okay.